We live in an era where scientific understanding and innovations have led us to reversing death itself. Yet despite these amazing advances, there is still much in this universe we do not understand. Every day, new stories of unexplained phenomena confound the senses and make us question the very fabric of reality itself. These are the universe's untold tales. Deep beneath the icy surface, on the dark side of Sol 6's moon, Iapetus, lies an unexpected monument to humanity's quest for understanding, and an all-too-human tragedy that has come to light after centuries of total darkness. In 2944, the scanning vessel Tintern Abbey logged an unusual sensor reading during a routine outer-planet survey assignment in the Sol system. Deep sensor scans of the dark side of Iapetus revealed an unidentified object several meters below the moon's surface. While Iapetus's dark side is uninhabited, the region had been used in previous decades for heavy weapons testing, and the immediate belief was that the anomaly represented a large unexploded munition. A UEEN survey and cleanup crew was assigned to examine the site. Equipped with excavators and more detailed surface scanners, the team was shocked by what they discovered buried beneath the layers of rocky ice: a largely intact spacecraft. As the excavation continued, it quickly became apparent that the ship trapped on the moon was a preserved treasure plucked from the annals of history itself in the form of a Robert Space Industries Zeus. Unveiled over 800 years ago as the first civilian-owned spacecraft ever mass-produced, the Zeus helped popularise private space travel. Today, the Zeus is seen by historians as the singular ancestor of the modern personal spacecraft, the great-grandfather of RSI's ubiquitous Aurora and Constellation ships. Once the historical importance of their find was learned, the Navy quickly dispatched an archaeological team to the wreckage. It was soon discovered that the tail designation, C6, was visible through the ice, which allowed for a fast identification. Historical records provided by RSI say that C6 disappeared on August 10, 2255, during the test flight of a new type of deep space communication system capable of transmitting in known dead regions of space. The craft was last tracked by an automated station on Iapetus's light side before disappearing as planned behind the moon. These final scans indicated that the ship was in the correct elliptical orbit, which would have kept it far from the surface. At 12 o'clock standard Earth time, when the first test communication was supposed to activate, the awaiting teams back on the light side of the moon were instead greeted by silence. The C6 and her crew would never be heard from again. Rescue crews of the time attempted to conduct a seemingly thorough search of the area, but were stymied by recent severe avalanches and were unable to find any indication of wreckage. A week passed before the C6's crew of 3 were pronounced dead: Mission Commander Brooke Cloverly, Engineer K. Scott Bashara, and Test Pilot Eve Price Murray. Cloverly was the youngest commander in the program at the time, and contemporary press reports note that her loss was a particular blow to Robert Space Industries' test program. Bashara had almost 40 years of experience as an engineer for the company. Less information survives on Murray, who had joined the company just weeks before the disappearance. Even after 7 centuries, a Robert Space Industries spokesperson confirmed that all 3 crew names are still memorialized on the company's Wall of Honor located at its headquarters on Earth. After the layers of ice were carefully removed, the ship was found to be in remarkably good condition for a 700-year-old wreckage. One of the Zeus's engines was clearly damaged on impact, dislodged from its casing and covered in intense scorching, and the bow armour was crumpled from where the ship hit the surface. Otherwise, most of the superstructure remained in excellent condition, and the interior of the ship had remained sealed. Investigators theorised that the C6 had most likely soft landed but became trapped when an ice avalanche buried it below the surface. However, it was what was inside the ill-fated ship that would prove a more troublesome mystery. When historians accessed the ship's interior, they were shocked to find that there were no human remains to be found. The Zeus's black box had been removed, as had all 3 spacesuits, 1 survival tent, and seemingly any limited supplies. Investigators discussed the idea that grave robbers might have discovered the site in the ensuing centuries, but generally rejected the possibility as the ship itself remained full of valuable components, and there was no evidence anyone had searched the cabin. The further discovery of used bandages and several empty ration packages in the ship's trash further suggested the crew had been conscious after the impact, and that one or more may have been injured. 2 weeks later, a comprehensive archaeological survey of the crash site had failed to turn up any additional information on what had happened to the crew of the C6. It was at this point that a decision was made to transport the wrecked Zeus from its crash site to Roberts Space Industries' Earth laboratory for detailed analysis. New and more confounding details emerged as the smallest details of the ship were studied. The cutting-edge communication module the ship had been equipped with was in perfect working order. Later test flights after the C6's disappearance would prove that the system worked, so, in theory, the crew should have been able to use it to summon a rescue, and it remains unknown why they did not. Additionally, while the removal of the black box means that the details of C6's last flight remain unknown, records salvaged from the ship's aging computer systems show that, shortly upon entering the dark side of the moon, ship authority was transferred from Commander Cloverly to Pilot Murray. Perhaps one of the biggest remaining mysteries is that with all the supplies that were taken from the ship, why did the crew decide to leave behind the ship's only emergency flare gun? After 3 years had passed since the discovery of C6, another piece of the puzzle surfaced that only raised more questions. A survey crew operating deep in the dark side to help establish a water mining system was digging exploratory boreholes when they unearthed an empty RSI spacesuit bearing a C6 patch. Its location? Almost 300 miles from the C6 crash site. 300 miles in the wrong direction from civilization. One must wonder, how did this brave explorer find themselves so far off course? Or perhaps, was there something they were trying to escape from? Tracing a path from the suit to the crash site only revealed one more piece of evidence: 10 unopened ration packets buried within the ice. In the end, we can only speculate as to what caused the loss of RSI Zeus C6, and what the true story of her crew's final hours may have been. The missing black box has not yet been recovered, though historians are hopeful that should it ever be found, more details of the event may yet be revealed. For now, this is one untold tale that will continue to haunt all those who seek to know the truth behind the Zeus's tragic end.
Greetings, citizen. I am NordVPN Man, bringing the justice of cybersecurity to the world. I protect you from ads, trackers, and malware. I punched a guy so hard once with security features that I knocked him back in time. He was able to use the knowledge of the future to become incredibly rich and wealthy. He bought like 10 subscriptions to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer after that. Really smart guy. Another time, I prevented a hacker from snooping at your IP address by taking off his hands. You can't hack with no hands. Probably. Anyway, you should get NordVPN, otherwise the terrorists win. Every month we have a giveaway. For July 2022, we're giving away a Hull A cargo hauler, as well as a Nomad multi-role freighter. That Nomad also comes with a hovercraft bike, so there's 2 lucky winners this month, and both of those packages contain access to Star Citizen. Comment on any of my videos during this month to be in for a chance of winning that, and check the description down below for more details. Please consider becoming a Patreon or channel member with the join button under my videos. This nets you a variety of exclusive extras, badges, influence on the channel, and content and special videos, as well as helping us produce daily content. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.